Welcome back to my channel. It's Christy here doing the weekly reading for the sign of Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising. Thanks so much for sticking with me. I did take last week off, but I'm so happy that you're back and I'm feeling 100 times better. I can talk, which is great. So this is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, and Rising for the week of October 24th through to the 31st. And if you've been watching for the last little while, you'll know that I do a lot of theme style readings. And for the past few weeks, we were looking at healing as a theme for the readings. This week, after some contemplation before doing this week's readings for all signs, I was struck with the concept of hidden strengths. So that's what we're going to be focusing on this week for you, Scorpio. We're going to be looking at hidden strengths that you didn't know were available to you or that you weren't tapping into for whatever reason. We are going to be using the Wisdom of the Oracle for our main spread, and then as always drawing from the medicine cards and the Healing with the Angels Oracle for additional messages. This is a general reading for your sign, so whatever is most prominent in your life, I encourage you to take these messages and apply them to, and hopefully you find them helpful and healing. So what does Scorpio need to know about hidden strengths this week? And I just want to put these, here we go. All right, Scorpio, so we're looking at the theme of hidden strengths in amongst the following cards. We have Between Worlds representing you, the influence to your current position being Yin, Unfinished Symphony as your probable outcome, and then All That Glitters. I see you maybe vacillating around a concern of yours that you would really like to have resolved. I actually have seen this for you over the past couple of weeks. Not every single week, but I do see you with your foot in one door and out the other, and looking at significant changes and how to apply that in the real world for yourself. So some of the major themes here are going to be receptivity, okay? Drawing in, being female, being caring, compassionate, and all things that come along with being female. Of course, that's fun and flirty too. It's also about honoring the self, okay? Feeling protected, making sure that you're protected, making sure that you have alliances with other people who have similar experiences with you that you have. And the difficulty between that world and having those affiliations and experiences and even peer groups and friendships and taking a chance on trying something else or making a move into a different, very probably life for yourself, no matter what that means to you. When you hear that word, a whole new life for myself, when you hear that, what does that mean to you? And that's what this is directed toward, and by virtue of that, it would be enormously different, maybe not polar different or polar opposite to your life right now, but it would look and feel very, very different. And that's what we're looking at Between Worlds. And of course, Unfinished Symphony, just meaning that, nothing's concrete right now. And with All That Glitters, just putting this out there, but it could be that the pull to remain in position, to remain in your place, even though there's a drive or a feeling that you need to move away from this or get into a different world for yourself or different life, as it were. But there's something that's keeping you in the position that you are, and it's generally having to do with comfort, okay? Material creature comforts. This comes with no judgment. This is just the way this is. Human beings are creatures of comfort. You're not unique that way. All of us have difficulty until we're just darn ready to move through that other world, to put that foot ahead and close that door behind us. But for some reason, this is so comfortable and confident, and this is what you know. So it's very easy to stay there. Does it mean it's bad? No, it doesn't mean that you're in a bad place necessarily at all. It just means that for some reason it's difficult to get out of this, and your hidden strength really is, I'm seeing here, that to treat where you're supposed to go as an art, to treat what you're supposed to be doing in the direction you're supposed to be going as, your story. It's not a small thing, right, that you're about to change or that you're willing to look into and evolve into. And certainly it isn't a small lifestyle, for example, that you're willing to move away from. So it's no small beans here, right? But the hidden strength here could really have to be around what you may not be fully aware of that it will grant you. This new life can grant you something that you could never buy. Okay? I'll leave it like that for the time being. And it really needs to be a decision of yours to make, that which can never be bought more important than, that which can be bought. Here with Between Worlds representing you, of course, we're looking at, walking out, just putting that foot in front of the other and really engaging in this colorful new world that awaits you. Yes, there's always trepidation about making changes or stepping into something that's unfamiliar or something that, holds a different lifestyle, if you will. Even peer groups, your peer groups could change. But the benefit to your soul, the benefit to your heart, and to your psyche is probably worth its weight in gold here, I will suggest. And this is what I see you sort of struggling with here. And when I say it's no small beans, it isn't. Even if it looks like it on the surface to somebody else. Well, it's not somebody else, it's you. What's important to you? And what does it mean to you to step into something new, to try to, start this new venture for yourself? And maybe you have been looking at it as though it wasn't important, or what's the difference if you do this or do that? Well, I'm going to suggest it's the difference between being that artist, right? Treating yourself as though this is your story, this is your art, this is your life, and it is meaningful and it is powerful and it does make an impact. And you do influence people, and you do deserve to have the highest quality life that you want, and you deserve to feel good about making that change when it's right for you. Okay? Don't feel like you need to be in a hurry to do this either. You need to be authentic about the timing. Needs to be authentic for you. But I do see your hidden strength being a sense of just being aware that this is something you want to do and that you plan to do for yourself, that maybe you've been putting off because there might be even a part of you that's saying, well, if I do that, it's going to look like what everyone else has. And I'm going to stress here, it's not about everybody else. Even if, because, and it gets into excuse land when we start doing that too. Like, well, I don't want to do that, or I don't want to say or think that because so-and-so would have an opinion on that, or what would so-and-so think, or our own sense of judgment. What am I really going to think about myself? Ultimately, that's all that matters. What you think about yourself and how you understand and respect yourself. That's truly all that matters here. Your self-respect is 100% what matters here. Yin, as I pointed out, is, the part of the yin-yang symbol. It's an ancient Chinese symbol. Ultimately, it's about balance. But it's also about opposites. And this is where we're looking at a world that is very different from the one that you're living in right now. When they say, listen, different worlds, could really just be night and day. Like, it could upset everything. Of course, you're taking your time. It's not something to be hurried through. And there's something that's very comfortable about where you are as well. But there's something that's going to feel, you're going to feel unsettled if you don't make a move. And that's all that's happening here. And your hidden strength is that you do have what it takes. You can move through this. Your life is a work of art. Shakespeare said it. I firmly believe this. And many, coming from the world of the arts, right up to, astrophysicists will, back up the theme of, all of life is a stage. And it really is. This is your life, and you need to heed your highest intuition. Of course, this is the feminine, the receptivity, this sense of what are you feeling in the world as opposed to what are you projecting, okay? What are you getting from this world as opposed to what are you giving, right? So this is what's leading you to try to contemplate these two worlds for yourself. It could be that you're living in a very opposite themed world right now. The world that you're living in or working in right now is yang. It's very male dominated, it's very aggressive, it's very action orientated. Again, nothing on its face that's wrong with that necessarily, but is it where your soul is? Is it where you really want to be? Is it what you really want to be doing in the long run or the long term? Because here we have unfinished symphony. This is where we're looking at life as art. Projection of the self in terms of its highest quality, right? Really developing what you've what you've begun. Developing it in a sense of, editing. Developing in learning more about how to project it. Maybe even developing about just discovering what you really truly want. Is this the type of life I want, or is this the type of life I want? And really creating a pros and cons list around that, I think, could help make some concrete decisions for you as well, Scorpio. Really just lay down pen and paper. What are your thoughts and feelings when you contemplate this lifestyle as opposed to that lifestyle, or this outcome as opposed to that one, and not just as an intellectual exercise, but as a heart and soul exercise, okay? Because all that glitters, listen, the money comes no matter what. It sounds like an overarching statement, and it sounds belittling to someone who's not doing well financially, and I don't mean to say that. I just mean the heart and soul is what you cannot buy. An experience, you can't buy it. This part, you can have what everyone else has, right? You can go where everyone else goes, but you can only think and feel what you think and feel. It's unique to you, and I'm going to suggest here again that it's your art. That's unique to you, and that's what ought to be heeded, because all that glitters isn't gold. Something looks fancy. Something looks like it's stable even. Maybe that's part of trying to decide which way to move here, is that maybe you're recognizing there's some cracks in the stability, or what you thought was stable and sure isn't exactly that way. And you're trying to find where you do belong, or what route to take. But it will be important that you do this exercise this week, Scorpio, because you don't want to be forced into doing something either. You don't want someone else making that decision for you. That's for darn sure. You want to be in control of that decision. And you also want to know exactly where your heart and your soul is with regard to this, so that you feel sure when you move into it. Here we have turtle. This is Mother Earth. I would say very closely aligned here with yin or receptivity. It could be that your hidden strength does have to do in particular with earth arts. We're looking at, on the surface, just quickly speaking, we're looking at actual occult arts, witchcraft, magic. It's just a change in consciousness, frankly. Attitude, intention, and behavior is magic. And of course, healing arts. We're looking at anything having to do with, of course, herbology, with homeopathy, with stones and stones and mineral healing, for heaven's sakes. So this could be, you know, something that you're coming out of, has nothing to do with this, and this is where, you know, your heart and soul is drawn into here. If that's the case, you know, really run with it, because your heart is in it. You know, this is already calling to you on a soul level here. And again, abundance, wealth, you know, abundance will be provided no matter what route you take here. And to follow up with your abundance card, this is just beautiful. So abundance can be found in Mother Earth. If at all, the only thing keeping you from making a move toward your highest art, your highest intention, your highest self with regard to your hidden strength this week, Scorpio, I would suggest that, you know what, you will be abundant in this new life, especially if it is around the healing arts having to do with earth. Again, herbology, anything having to do with natural remedies here. So really excited for you. A big leap lay ahead for you. I really feel that something big and exciting lay ahead for you. Don't rush into it this week. Really create your pros and cons list. Decide exactly what it is, the life that you really want for yourself. And then if you're drawn to something here that is in the healing arts, especially having to do around Mother Earth and nature itself, really go there, because it's a very high calling for you. You'll find sooner than later that what you cannot buy is priceless, and it's worth way more than what you could ever purchase or feel comfortable with creature comforts here. So take a risk this week, Scorpio. Have a lot of faith in yourself. And if you have a second, comment below. And if you're not already, subscribe to my channel, because I upload videos for your sign every week. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Until then, take good care. Bye for now.